Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Arjun Jayaraman and this is yet another episode on Multi-Bagger Stock Series. In this video, we will cover all the best stocks to short sell in December 2021. Before we start, a quick disclaimer. This is not an advice to buy or sell shares. I'm not a SEBI registered advisor. This is only for educational purposes. Now, a few days ago, I had posted last Friday that the Nifty is likely to have a very sharp crackdown because all the major heavyweights like Reliance, ITC, HDFC Bank, INFOSYS, they all were falling down after a shooting star pattern. Now, when we look at Nifty 50, while we say it is 50 stocks, the actual heavyweights are just about 10 stocks, which contribute to about 62% of the market share. Now, if we need to confirm where the index is heading, it would be pretty easy to just go through these 10 stocks instead of the 50 stocks and kind of get a direction as to where the markets are heading. So now, during that time, I had posted several charts in different forums and groups, and it was just expected that there's going to be a huge gap down anytime soon. And some of the stocks like INFOSYS, for example, while it gave a very clear fall below the 1780 mark, the hourly charts were very clearly, convincingly having a sell setup. Similarly, Wipro also was looking at a very strong, stock to sell. Reliance particularly was already dipping, and this is another tweet which I had posted on in my channel on Twitter, that it can fall down by a good 200 points. Bajaj Finance Financial Services is another such stock which I had posted on Twitter that it is likely to have a very strong fall. Some stocks like HDFC Bank, Axis Bank, they all had very clear breakdown. We will cover some of these stocks in subsequent slides. But Axis Bank, for example, there were a lot of people trying to add that into their basket of long-term investment. But the stock looks like very clear inverted head and shoulder. It's breaking on the monthly charts on the downside. Similarly, ICICI Bank was also looking at a very sharp sell-off. Kotak Bank, again, it looks pretty bad. And yeah, the only thing that was holding up the index was Nasdaq. We're not sure what happens to Nasdaq, but then these charts are definitely going to go down in December. So what next? Now, unless Nifty crosses 18,200, it's going to be really difficult to see a new high. Now, the 50% Fibonacci retracement for the entire rally points to a target of around 15,000. So technically, anybody who is wanting to sell will ideally start going short at 17,500. So any rise up to that number will definitely get sold. People who got stuck heavily on Friday during the 500-point fall would be the first ones wanting to get out. Then if there is no further movement, all the people who have been holding the stocks until this time will all start selling, which will trigger a fresh sell rally. Now, the 200-day and 20-day are usually mean reverting, and we see that coinciding with the 38% Fibonacci retracement, and those are the support zones we are looking at. So typically one can short sell with a stop loss above 17,800 and 18,200 on the higher side, and we can expect a fall until 14,500 or 13,800. So this may not happen within a month. It might take 2 to 3 candles, and this is a monthly chart, so we can typically expect until say February before we will have a pre-budget rally or a budget rally. So that is just an estimate, because we have seen about 18-20 months of a bull run. So even if we approximately take say 30% or 35% of the time period, it is a good 6 to 7 months, which is typically 2 quarters. So we can expect a good correction to sideways to correction for the next 6 months. Only if Nifty crosses 18,300 convincingly, that is where we can see the highs getting taken out, led by a huge short covering rally, but it is very unlikely. So looking at the top 5 stocks from the Nifty 50, HDFC Bank we just spoke a while ago. There is a very clear dragonfly doji followed by a sharp sell-off. Now we can also see that the RSI, stochastics, MACD, all of them declining. What is more interesting is when you look at the candle chart as a line chart, it is also forming an inverted head and shoulder similar to the Axis Bank pattern. So a fall below this can easily cause a 300-point fall, which is going to be very severe on the banking index as well as on the Nifty, because this carries 11.2% weightage on the Nifty 50. The next one we see is Reliance. Now Reliance again has similar to HDFC Bank equal weightage on the index. I had also suggested a sell as of November 18th that it can fall down by a good 200 points, while the expectation was it will take time, but it didn't lose much time. It kind of dipped all the way to the current levels, which is 2412. The multi-year reversal in the quarterly chart has already reached 423%. So typically what happens in a reversal of this kind, there is usually a huge sell-off and there's a minimum retracement. Even if the stock has to retrace by a minimum 30%, 32%, then one can expect a good correction until 2000. So worst case we are looking at is if the stock goes up to 2550 or 2600 levels, you can expect again heavy selling pressure, and a correction until 2000 is most likely. HDFC, which has 7.2%, this is kind of not yet confirmed, but it is kind of reversing. If we want to look at this to join the bandwagon, then once a rejection starts happening and the stock falls below the previous month's low, then we can expect a good fall for the entire correction, which is at least till 2500, or worst case scenario, the minimum target would be about 2600, 2650 kind of levels. INFOSYS has a 7% weightage on the index, and this is very clearly having a huge short selling accumulation at 1780, 1800 levels, and it has just started falling below the last 2 months close, and we can expect a good correction after a 423% rally. So one can expect a fall until even 1300 levels, which is very significant. ICICI Bank, it's just forming a reversal in the November charts. So December you can expect a pullback, slight pullback, and unless the stock crosses 800, it can end much lower than last month's low or November month's low. So one can expect a fall until even 650 or 500 levels in the coming quarter. TCS, never before it has made such a huge run up for 7 quarters in a row, and on the 8th quarter it is likely to fall a little lower than the current quarter. So which means for the next 3 months we can expect a lower low and much corrected value, and the quarterly EMA is around 2500. Usually TCS finds supports at the quarterly 20 period average. So in the next 2 to 3 quarters we can expect the stock to either fall moderately or fall until 2500 or remain sideways. At least the stock doesn't look that convincing to look for any fresh upside at this point in time. So having seen all these major stocks, now if we were to look outside these Nifty 50 key heavyweight players, here are some very nice stocks that are ready to sell. Wipro currently at 621. One can short the stock around 640 levels with a stop above 668, and there is a good 20% to 30% kind of a fall from the current levels. Bajaj Finserv again has seen a fantastic rally, and it is due for a pretty nice correction, and there is a good 1:2 risk reward ratio, so one can short the stock at 15,200 with a target of 15,200 and 13,800 in a few months, but maintain a strict stop loss above 18,511. INFOSYS, again, I had posted this last Friday. So people who have been watching it on Twitter, some of them have already probably gone short by now. The stock has fallen by a couple of hundreds. They can continue to hold the shorts. There is a 1:2 risk reward ratio, and it is likely to fall at least until 2500 and 2200 levels, which is a good 1000 points fall from the time it was recommended. L&T Infotech is just forming a reversal pattern. So next month, in the event of any correction, any pullback until 7150, which is about 500 points from here, during the next 1 or 2 weeks, one can start creating fresh shorts with a stop loss above 7565, and there is a likely to be a good 2000 point fall from there. Larsen and Toubro has been moving up with a lot of resistance over the last 3 months. If we see, every month it tries to hit a new high, it gets sold into, again it gets sold into, this month again it is getting sold into. So next month, when we see all the global cues falling, I think one can comfortably start shorting all the way up by 100 points, and keep a tight stop loss from there on, and expect a good 300 to 400 point kind of a correction for this entire rally. Mindtree has seen a non-stop rally all the way for 8 months, and this is the 9th month where it is showing a very bearish reversal. So next month in December, this is a beautiful stock to short, but it is very volatile, so maintain a strict stop loss above 5061, and there is likely to be a good 1500 to 2000 point fall from the highs. Grasum, it's been on a continuous non-stop rally, and a couple of times it just took a pause, but this time I think it might again try to fall back into the trend line that it just broke, because it's not been able to convincingly run up above that, while many other stocks like Reliance or Wipro, Tech Mahindra, all those kind of stocks in the next 2 to 3 months after breaking such high trend lines had moved very significantly. Grasum has not moved that significantly yet, but stop loss is very important for a stock like Grasum. So if at all you're going short, um, uh, don't rush, wait for 100 point reversal, and then try to sell around 1800 levels with a 100 rupee stop loss around 1893 levels. From there you can expect a 20% correction or 15% minimum correction from those levels. So if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and share it with your friends. And I'm pretty active on Twitter, so you can keep subscribing to my channel for more videos like this. I will also come out with a video on how to make some adjustments using spreads, and how to shift debit spread into a credit spread, and how to convert your a bullish view into a bearish view whenever there's a market reversal like this in my coming videos. Thank you very much.